The City game.
Yeah, the City game. Well, that was the first game of the month. 2-2.
For Frank.
Yeah,
The
Frank.
what's it called? The away game or the home game?
Home game, 2-0 up.
Home.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Listen. With Frank, right? I was literally speaking to a few people some time ago, and he, in my opinion, yes, he did turn it around. Did I see it coming? No, I didn't see it coming. He was second half FC throughout his tenure, like on majority of the games. But I was speaking to a few people last time, and I was saying to them that with Frank, I had nothing against Frank, right? Frank was a lovely guy. He's the kind of guy that his brethren that you take him to dinner.
He wasn't Ange, was he?
He wasn't Ange. But listen, I had made my peace with it. But it was in the Fulham game that I actually thought alarm bells started ringing. Like, this is ages ago. Like, I think back in the start of December or November, where I started thinking, I don't think he's the right guy for us. I didn't think he was the right guy for us, mainly because of the mentality that he and the tactics that he went in throughout every single game, whereby he literally sought to allow the opposition to do whatever they needed to do first before actually attacking. And if you realize, every single time we attacked, it was after we were 1-0 down or after we're 2-0 down, wherever it is. That's when we actually played football. And when we actually did play football, you could see that the players could play football with the ball at their feet. So I think it was during that time that I actually thought, you know what, I don't think this guy is the right guy for us. I was a bit apprehensive because the following that he had was quite intense. And the people that really, really wanted him was quite intense. But I don't think he was the right guy for us. Like, what are you guys what are you guys' view? What were you discussing? What
before he came on, it was like he just asked me pretty much the same question I asked you about Frank and whether I thought Frank was going to stay basically after the game. But bear in mind, maybe he brought us on because I was very frank in, and you're very frank out. But anyway, for me, my theory of appointing Frank was because he was meant to be tactically adaptable. Bear in mind, I don't watch every Brentford game. I can only go on like 10 games a season or whatever.
Yeah.
So I thought, in theory, because we had a manager who was not adaptable, that we bring in someone else who's very adaptable, it would work. But in reality or in like process, it hasn't. And I think it's partly to do with he didn't have good like relations with the players, in the sense that Ancelotti speaks about how you need to treat the players as humans and relate to them to get them on side, I guess, to get the points across. And buy into your tactics, whatever. I just don't think, looking around on the touchline, he had that with the players, and I think that was the biggest issue. So that's why that's personally what I think it didn't work out. But for me, I was done with Frank after West Ham. That's when I was done with Frank. Personally.
No, I agree with you. But is your Has, right? Is that
from Harry as well? It's fine.
Harry. To me, I think to be completely honest, the tribalism probably took over, right? Because we had a mad section, right, of the fan base that, as you said, absolutely loved Ange. I loved Ange, right? Not because he was doing great in the season, because he didn't, right? But because I actually believed in his vision. And when Frank came in, I was one of the very first people who said, oh, he talks well during presses. He seems to be a very adaptable manager, so I'm going to give him a chance. And every single time I heard him speak, I was like, you know what? It's okay. And to be fair, I tell you where I got sucked in. The PSG game. Yeah. I got sucked in for about a month, right? The PSG game where we lost. But I thought, you know what? I can see what he's trying to do.
That game turned me away.
No, but to be fair, listen, I know that a lot of people, it turned them away because of his game management when we're 2-0 up.
Yeah.
But for me, I actually thought, and I'm always looking for the little positives here and there, right? And sometimes people call me a bit deluded. But I actually thought, hold on a second. I thought we're going to get battered 6-1. So for us to be 2-0 up in a gritty way, pressing so high, I thought, okay, you know what? It's PSG. I give him the bye. Then I saw us against City in the first leg, and the way we pressed them into submission, and obviously forgetting the fact that we beat City at the start of the season, every single season, right? I thought, this is Frank. This is what he's going to do. Where he lost me, he started losing me. I don't know whether you guys went to the Villarreal game at home in the Champions League, our first Champions League game.
Well, we won
Yeah,
an own goal. Own goal.
That was harambo. That was horrendous. We won the game 1-0 and we had 0 shots on target. Do you understand what quality you need to have as a team to go the entire game without any shots on target in the Champions League at home and lose? And that's when the alarm bell started ringing. It was during the Fulham game that I thought, nah, this guy has got to go. And I kept saying it, but people kept calling me deluded. They said, it's too early, blah, blah, blah. But I just don't think the connection was there. I don't think he commanded respect. I don't think he had the mentality to, and I know people are going to be shouting at the screen saying, "Hey, we are not a big club." Well, we technically should be a big club, right? And I didn't think he had the mentality to steer us in such a way that the fans were going to accept. And I think that is my opinion of his tenure, unfortunately.
So I'll come to you, Haz. So were you surprised, like after Manchester United, he got away with probably a week's grace because of Romero?
Yeah, because Romero got himself sent off like an idiot. And I think they probably thought, to be fair to him, he did keep us in the game quite a while till the second goal came in. Even though we didn't really threaten. But to be fair to him, he did all right there. But I think Romero probably bought him a week because of the red card. And bear in mind, he only got sacked not because of Vinay and Lange, it was because of the owners or whoever it was that overstepped them. So Lange is his mate, and Lange would have kept him for the rest of the season, I think, if they didn't go and sack him, if I'm being honest with you. Which is why it bothers me that Lange is still here, because like they're kind of connected, really. So if you get rid of Frank, you get rid of Lange, in my opinion.
What is he still doing here? I'm sorry.
Bro, I don't even know. I don't even know.
Do you know what though? Do you know what?
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of people are blaming Lange, but do you think that was the remit he was like the players that he assigned? Do you think that was his remit? Because he didn't do this at Villa.
That is
so he never bought young players at Villa.
He never. But they still got them relegated.
No. You go back and look at who so Martinez was one of his signing. Matt Cash. Yeah, Matt Cash was one of his. Me and Ash went through this. I never realised either. Most of his signings were bloody ready to go players at Aston Villa. The problem is that they were between two different managers. So they were between. This was just before Unai came in. And all the players, and Ollie Watkins was Lange's signing. So this is what I'm saying. Yeah, so when you actually go look at Lange's signings at Aston Villa, I'm not saying all of them were like spot on, but these are the ones that Unai ended up using and ended up making them into really good players. It's just that the problem that Lange had, he had bloody Steven Gerrard, and he was the manager before Steven Gerrard, Dean Smith. Dean Smith. Yeah, another Brentford. Yeah, another Brentford manager who was an understudy and ended up becoming. Yeah. So when you look at his signings that he made under Villa, yes, the team didn't do well. However, most of them are the ones that are doing well under.
But did he get demoted, Marlon? Why did he get demoted at Villa?
Because Unai Emery, basically.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they wanted Unai Emery to come in, and they had to promote that other guy. That was the only way to get a decent manager in.
I get your point. I get your point, Marlon.
So the question is, what's the remit of Lange? Everyone's blaming him and going him. Mm-hmm. But actually, let's go back to one step before. Steve Hitchen, who was there before. Even Paratici. Is the remit completely different to what we're expecting? Are they got their hands tied behind their back? And we're looking at them going, it's all them. But actually, the directive coming from the top is we want young players, we want this, we want this, we want this. And this is what they're going out to find.
No, 100%. I don't disagree with that, by the way. So if we look at the, even Paratici, right? A lot of people have a go at him with regards to how he spent certain amounts of money, etc. And I always say that you can have a go at Paratici as much as you want, but what is to say that the board didn't say, you know what, Paratici, listen, we are happy for you to spend the 60 million, 70 million on a player. However, the wage remit has to be, 90k, like we did with Richarlison, instead of, a top club who will spend the 60, 70 million. However, their wage would be 250k, which is a totally different stratosphere of player, right? So I get that perspective, Marlon, from where you're coming from. However, if we fast forward to this season, right? This is the season where Levy is being sacked. Everyone is saying, "Oh, you know what? Sorry, the hierarchy is saying that this is the new era. We're not ENIC anymore. This is the Lewis kids and Lewis family, the 60-year-old Lewis kids, etc. Right? So I'm looking at that, and I'm not just judging Lange, but I'm judging Lange, Vinay, and the entire board based on what they have said. So they have said is the new dawn. They have said now that they're going to rip the wage structure. They have said they're going to bring in a certain level of quality, and then we find ourselves in January, and the only players that they bring in for a manager that, again, whether I like him, whether you like him, is got no consequential say into the whole and any of the matter, right? They saw that he was struggling. They saw that he had nobody to deal with, whether I like him or not, and they decided to bring in Suso and Conor Gallagher. So I'm sorry to say, yes, maybe he's being hamstrung by the ownership, but when you're tainted, I know in my corporate job, the reality, the perception is as important as the reality. And at the moment, the perception is so bad with this guy that unfortunately he can't last. If we were a serious club, he shouldn't last. That's my feeling with regards to it.
Yeah, so on the screen, apparently, I don't know about, I think Coutinho and Digne is, but these are all his signings via Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, they hit and miss as Paratici's probably was. But
no, I'm not. I don't pick up Paratici, so you can say that.
Yeah. But what the reason why I'm bringing this up is because how many of them are young players? But that's been his remit at Tottenham.
But Marlon, look at the fees here. Martinez 15 million, Watkins 25 million, Buendia 30 million, Leon Bailey 28 million. These are fees that we can cover. So it being, like even this season, forget last season, forget last season where we all knew, other than the Ange haters who said Ange wanted youngsters, even though he never bought youngsters in the past, right? We knew that this was the hierarchy saying, go get Bergvall, go get Odobert, go get Gray, and pay him 40 million. We knew that. I accept that. I know that was not him. But this season, you could see that there was definitely a shift in the summer, going in for Morgan Gibbs-White, going in for Eze, going in for, I suppose Xavi Simons is young, but the quality was there. Going in for Muani, going in for Paulinho, going in for Kudus. The remit was there in a sense of they were not looking at youngsters this summer. And I feel like if you look at the list that you put up and the quality that he was able to bring in at Villa, there's absolutely no reason why, with the same amount of money and better scouting, because it feels like at this club that the scouting quality has been lost at the moment.
But the reason why I bring that up, and I just want to open discussion a little bit, is it took Aston Villa to get a better coach before his signings took fruition. Now this is sometimes what happens. This is what sometimes happens at clubs when the manager and the players don't fit. Like Gerrard and Dean Smith did not suit them players, but as soon as you bring in Unai Emery, Watkins, top goal scorer, Emiliano Martinez, he was good at the time, to be fair. So I'm not going to sit there. Matty Cash just got better and better. Buendia is probably okay. To be fair, Buendia's become better this season.
You could see. Yeah, no, that's fair.
That's fair. Leon Bailey will sit there and say he's been a flop, but he started off okay, but he kind of flopped.
Started strong.
Yeah. Boubacar Kamara? Yeah, decent.
Can't say anything
there. Yeah. Danny Ings, complete flop, but that was one of them you just didn't know that was going to happen. Philip Coutinho was again good start, faded at the end, and Lucas Ding, good solid left back side.
He's pretty good. Yeah, he's pretty good fullback. Actually.
So why is it? So this is why I bring up Lange a little bit. Like I'm not here for him, but I'm not sitting here gonna sit there and say he's top dog. But maybe again the January transfer window is we can't bring in the run of the mill. We needed Conor Gallagher. Don't get me wrong. The Lookman thing we can only take with a pinch of salt. Okay. The other question is, he was offered to Tottenham, but who else was he offered to?
Duran. We were linked with Duran.
We were linked with Duran because that was one of his signings at Aston Villa, but he's not on that list. So I take it with a pinch of salt.
I would have taken him in January. Yeah. Him and Lookman, I would have taken him in January in a heartbeat.
Yeah. To be honest, I was one of them reserved about Lookman. I'm not going to lie, because for me, yes, in Europe he has been absolutely good. In Europe, he's been good. He's not been like
amazing,
amazing. But in the Premier League, he's had 3 stints at it, and he's not really.
He was young, though. He was really young.
The first one was, but the 2 other loan signings, he was 20. He's in 24, 25.
Really?
Yeah. So he went to he was at Charlton, if I believe.
Yeah.
And then he went to, was it Leipzig? Not Leipzig. I'm thinking of the wrong team.
He was at Everton as well.
He went to Everton.
Yeah. He was older then. I remember him at Everton.
The only thing is, hold on, the situation we're in, we were desperate for people.
So he went to Leipzig. So he went to Leipzig after us.
Yeah.
Did well on loan. Yeah. Then they ended up signing him. He then went to Fulham and Leicester. Okay. 2020 and 2020, and the other one was during COVID. Didn't really set the world alight in the Premier League. And he was older then. Okay. And then we went to Atalanta and he found the right coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's what everyone has to remember. He found the right coach. Okay. So it'll be interesting to see how he now does at Atletico Madrid. Okay?
He started on fire.
He started on fire, right? Because he's barely played. But when you say started on fire, he was on the bench the other night in the Champions League, wasn't he?
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah. He was on the bench, which I'm looking at going, if Atletico needed to win that game.
Yeah, they needed to win. Yeah.
So why is he not? And he's been on fire. What's he finally? What's Simeone seen to be putting him on the bench?
Yeah, but no, it's a fair point. But
I'm not saying. I'm not saying he wouldn't be like right now. We need him at Spurs.
Exactly. I think that's the main thing. Exactly. Is the fact that if you look at Spurs and if we look at the situation that we were in at the time with Kudus injured and the fact that we were playing Odegaard on the right hand side, and
which was the best thing ever.
but you get the point. Is the fact that because my issue. So it's 2 points. Sorry, I've literally come in and I keep waffling.
No, it's fine.
I've been holding all of this in before coming on, right? But there are 2 points. On your point about the manager, Marlon, that's a fair point. Listen, maybe it is because I'm one of the people who genuinely doesn't. I know at the moment the morale is down, everyone's heads is down. We're in such a bad form, and bad form breeds bad form, right? But I'm one of the very few people in the Spurs community that genuinely thinks that this squad is top half of the table. It's not a bottom half of the table squad. I'm not talking about now with the injuries, right? Yeah. But before everyone's injury went kamikaze in January, we had a squad that should have been in the top half of the table. So I hear your point with regards to the manager. I think as a club, right, this season, we have surrendered the whole epitome of playing football. We've gone from a team that, and again, I'm not bigging up Ange because I know that in the last season was horrendous, right? But we've gone from. Sorry,
he was just as bad,
but that's what I'm saying. So I'm not.
He was better, but he was just as bad.
Exactly, but that's the point. I'm not bigging him up at all because I know that 22 losses was horrendous. But the point I'm making is very, very straightforward, right? We've gone from a team where Ange used to scream at Vicario and Porro and the defense for lumping the ball up because he kept saying play, to a team where it's literally lump the ball up or inshallah. It's crazy. I remember at the start, there was a stat that was circulating at the start of the season, mid-season, where we had lost the most balls of every team in the league. And guess who was the person who had lost the most in the team? Our best player, Kudus. Why? Because every ball that was played to him, he had to trap from 30 yards up. You know what I mean? So I fully agree with you on that side with regards to the fact that we are at a point where if we do stay up in the summer, we need to think carefully about who we bring in as a manager, because we have to go back to actually coaching properly and actually playing football. So that's the first point. With regards to Lookman, genuinely, we are at a point where we should have brought in 3-4 players, whether on loan, whatever it is, and they should have thought about it after. They should have done a Chelsea who in January spent a ton of money, brought in, how many players did they even bring in? 10, 9, whatever it was that they brought in, and then thought in the summer, decided to sell about 15 of them, right? That is what they should have done. They were just too confident that we're going to stay up. And now we've got Marlon looking at me like, oh my God. We got Hans looking at me like, oh, are we going down? Well, everybody's panicking. Everyone is panicking.
So, question for you both. Obviously, Frank left in that international break and obviously was sacked. Timing-wise, was it great timing? Should he have gone earlier? But my second question onto that is, if Solanke and Maddison were fit for his reign, would he have been sacked?
Yeah, he would have been sacked. Shall I tell you why? Because our fans want to see this attacking, free-flowing football, and Frank basically wasn't giving it to them.
But do you think would have been sitting where we were sitting if he had those two fit?
I don't think we'd be as low as we were, but I think maybe would have been like, I don't know, maybe 10, like 12 or something. I don't know. Like, because I think Maddison and Solanke would have scored more goals, so we would have won more games. Whether the turnover, that's the right word, like the deficit would have been reduced that much, I don't know, in the quality, I don't know. But as for Frank, I think the problem I have with the sacking is not that he was sacked. It's just I just find it was too little, too late. I hate to say it. I just feel like it's too little, too late. Like I would have, like I said, personally, I would have sacked him after West Ham because that's when I was done with him. But I know Paratici wanted him gone in December. Not that Paratici's a mate like the god or something, and he wanted Tudor in December. Now, if you bring in Tudor in December, then you give him at least a January window and some more weeks working with the players to do something. Because Nuno got brought in West Ham. I can't remember what it was. It was before the window because he had the window. And now look at them; they're actually like doing something. So for me, he had to either sack him in December or January, and because they didn't, now we're in a position where we bring in a manager with 12 games left. And for example, in Tudor's press conference after the Arsenal game, he's speaking about bad habits. You're not going to shake off bad habits in like a week. I'm sorry, it's just human nature. So I know what bad habits he's talking about, but that quite worried me a lot for him to say.
Well, I think
players have bad habits and they shake them off.
I think what the bad habits he's talking about, if we go back to Chris Cowling's video,
where I know, I've seen the video. Yeah,
where everyone's completely got in on Chris Cowling, but it's the way he worded it and it's the way he's put. Because the way Tudor answered it, because I heard Tudor's answer, and I think that's the bad habit she's talking about, where they're dropping too deep. He doesn't want them that deep. He wants them playing further up. So he basically
this is why
wasn't
if you brought him in 2 months earlier.
Or
something, then he would have had those like 2-3 weeks to maybe because we don't have those 3 weeks now. I don't think we can afford to have 3 weeks.
Well, we fix the
problems that these habits that supposedly they have. I mean, if that's one of them, for example,
he's going to get another break. He is going to get another break because I think
that's true. I forgot about that.
Yeah, because I think there's
in
an
the
FA,
March.
yeah, where there's like 2 or 3 weeks before we even play again. So he's going to get a massive break in between. The only problem is,
if we lose 3 games,
we've got to play, which we'll go into in the next segment. But for Tudor right now, he's coming after that Arsenal game, and he's gone, oh, there's problems are more deeper than he realized, which we could have told him that. Come on, but Manny,
he's clearly not be watching us.
Yeah, just watch YouTube. Tudor, you would have got everything. You know, you got the clip off YouTube. You said you saw it. So
you watch Ash's streams. You can watch Ash's streams. They'll probably explain.
If you watch Ash's stream, you could have realized how deep trouble he was going to be in after Arsenal. Because look, to be honest, Tudor has said all the right things. He has completely said all the right things.
Yeah, it's not like I'm against him. What I'm trying to say is, I just think if you're going to bring in someone like Tudor, you should have brought him in earlier. This is why I was more bringing in someone like Sherwood or like with Redknapp or something, and Weisman, something like that.
But
because
what's that going to do? Like
not now. It's too late now.
But in modern day footballers and what they're looking for, what is really that going to do?
But my worry with our players, Marlon, is not exactly technical ability. So
they're not going to respect Sherwood and Redknapp, are they? They don't even know who the hell they are.
Why would they respect Tudor? They don't know who he even is.
Because he's got pedigree as manager. Like, in all seriousness, the teams that he's managed, he's got pedigree in that section. They've gone, this man's coming from Juventus. He's serious, and he's known for short-term gain. Where I reckon if you bring in a Redknapp and Sherwood, who we respect, these players have never fucking heard of them. And Redknapp's hasn't been in the game for over 10 years.
But
the game has moved on from them.
It didn't have to be those two. I just wanted to say one.
My thing is, because everyone always uses this, but if you look at all the managers now that kind of save what we know to save people from relegation, Sam Allardyce's last job, he got Leeds relegated.
Dyche got sacked.
Dyche got sacked because he was still down there. Yeah. So actually, that doesn't really work. Where everyone's going, who Igor truly doesn't know the game, this and the other. But if you look at the managers that have come in and saved clubs, let's take Vita Pereira, Wolves. You take Wolves' last 2 managers who've come in, saved them, and then later had to get the sack because they haven't maintained it. But they basically saved them twice, and they've had no experience of the Premier League. So it's not to say it won't work. It's just the case that right now we have 12 fit players, 13. Yeah, it's got to play a massive part.
But what I'm saying, Marlon, is this is just my view. Yeah, I maybe comment to it later, but I think the players have given up. It's not actually Tudor. Like, I think the players in their head, like when I watched them after during the Newcastle game, I felt like it's like they gave up. It's like I
think they gave up on Frank.
It's like they already know in their heads like they're leaving at the end of the season, or they're gone, or they don't care as much, or which is why
there's only a couple of players that realistically leave at the end of the season, though.
Let's look at our team. Both centre halves want to go, and they don't want to be here. The midfielders are either full of kids or average players, maybe Paulinho. Then the strikers can't score, and the wingers are basically kids.
So basically, like what you're saying, so they can't. The rest of them can't give up. But only two players in the whole squad can give up.
For example, the Arsenal game, I didn't see a reaction out of the players. I just didn't see anything. I'm not expecting us to beat Arsenal, by the way, at home before anyone says this, but I didn't see any reaction mentally out of the players. If anything, I was more worried because I thought with a new manager, I thought they would show a bit more like fight. I didn't see anything.
No. I think what happened was, and people have said this, I think they did, and Manny, you can come in on this actually. I think we did see something different. And the problem was we had a referee against us. We had a team that were on the back of a reaction against Wolves because of what happened. And we are the worst team in the league on form. Now, when it went to 2-1, did you expect us to get a second? Now, whether that second goal, everyone is saying it should never have been given as a foul. But to even get in that situation, we weren't doing that a couple of weeks ago. So there was a reaction, but I think a lot of us Spurs fans forgot who we were playing. I know they were thinking it's a North London derby, but I think everyone seriously forgot that.
Yeah, can I? Because on this, and I've been saying this on every show that I've been on, right? If there is a game to judge an interim manager that has come in 5 days ago, it's not against Arsenal. Whilst they're top of the league, whilst they play literally, they've dropped points midweek to Wolves, right? Whilst every game from now to the end of the season has to be a win for them in order for them not to finish second 4 seasons in a row after spending the amount of money that they've got. This is not the game. I genuinely so I was at the game, right? And I was in the first half. Obviously they created quite a few chances that they should have buried, but I don't know whether you guys if I don't know whether any of you went to the game, but in the first 15-20 minutes you could clearly see how Tudor wanted us to play, in a sense of he has come in, and this is my theory, right? He has come in and realized, you know what, the quality in this team, especially up front, right, and in the midfield, is not good enough to put, 2 passes, whatever it is, together, patterns of play. It's too early. It's not good enough.
Conor Gallagher, Sarr, and Suma.
Exactly. So I think he recognized that the only way we were going to get anything out of this game is if we aggressively press them into making errors. So at the start, you could see that there was a certain point, Van de Ven was as high up marking his guy all the way into their box, right? We were trying to press them into submission, and obviously we conceded the first goal. But how did we score our first goal? It was by us pressing high and Declan Rice making an error and being so close to the goal where we were able to score. Now, we went into the break 1-1, right? And Marlon is very right is we came back, and I know I was having a conversation with a few of my Arsenal friends, and they were like, "Oh, you're trying to blame the referees? What's it called? The technology." But the guys came. The guys came out. We were supposed to start the game. We weren't starting because the referee, for whatever reason, his technology wasn't working. And I don't know whether they showed it on TV, but the Arsenal players had the ball and they were passing it very rigorously in order to keep warm. Our players were vibing. They were vibing. They were having a lovely conversation. And I was thinking, these guys, what's going on here? And then, as soon as we started, they scored. And when they scored, to be completely honest, I was thinking, we ain't coming back, because this team hasn't got the right mentality when it comes to those kind of situations. And Arsenal were too good. The quality there was too big a chasm between our quality, which is why I keep saying to people, the games that we should be judging Tudor on are the next 2 games. Because in the next 2 games, we need 4 points at the minimum. At the minimum. We can't get anything less than those 4 points in order to get breathing room. So I think everyone should just settle the ball, take a touch, just calmer, and then let's actually judge him from this Sunday. Because Fulham is not an easy game. Fulham is going to be a very difficult game at Craven Cottage. And if we come out with something out of that game, we can be able to move a little bit and have a little bit of breathing room. I don't think the Arsenal game is where we should be judging Tudor, but I actually think there is a big agenda by a lot of people who didn't want Thomas Frank sacked. So as soon as we and I'm not saying you has obviously, because
no.
There's a cluster of people, Danny Kiriakou.
I need to take it out.
who literally were waiting for us to lose. And as soon as we lost, I told you, a manager change is not going to do anything, even though Thomas Frank from game week 8 has us 18th, and in the last 11 games had us 20th, right? So I think that game is not the game. Then the game coming 100% has. If we lose that game, then I'm with you. Then I'm like, okay.
Because he's had 2 weeks with them on the training ground as well.
I know.
My worry isn't Tudor himself. My worry is our players.
The players.
If that makes sense. The players. The Mateus mentality. Obviously we finished 17th last season. It's almost like I'm not blaming Ash completely on this, because obviously we did rubbish under Frank as well. But it's like the players have accepted that performing badly is like acceptable, if that makes sense. And then also they give up too easily. I've noticed in loads of games they just give up.
Do you think though? on that, because you're saying that, but do you think in their head, and we kind of think it as well, they just don't have enough play. So when they go 2-1 down, like they did on Sunday, they're looking at the bench going, well, these kids ain't going to get us out of this problem. I know people want to see these kids, but I don't think they're ready. Otherwise, they'd be playing. Okay. And everyone says you got to be given your chance, but like the gap between youth football and Premier League football is getting bigger and bigger, like the Championship is. Okay. So do you think some of them look at that bench and go, we haven't got enough? They haven't, because what you're seeing is a bare 11 at the moment, and they've got to play pretty much 90 minutes. Do you think that that's where that giving up attitude has come from, if they go 1 or 2-0 down?
But then I could say, because me and TJ were talking about this on my stream earlier, and I was talking about some Marks, the 2 Marks show as well. So big up 2 Marks as well. Earlier this week, saying that maybe, I'm not saying you have to start them or start them all, to start giving some of the kids a chance. Some of the players don't want to play for the badge, because that's another theory, I guess, I've had. Like, a lot of them just don't want to play for Spurs. So at this point in time, you need players that want to play for the club. Even if it's just like some kids.
But like, are you not putting yourself in a situation where you're literally, I get why people say that, but if you start playing the kids, you're literally giving up on the season, and we're going to go down. Like, there's no getting out of it.
By the way, Wolves are winning 1-0, yeah?
They're going to catch us.
Mate, Wolves start coming out of this situation. I tell you now.
We are in big trouble. We are in big trouble.
Oh, my God. Is Rob Edwards finally bloody click?
Wait, are they 16 points behind us if they win that? They're 16 points.
They're 16 points behind us, yeah. They pretty much have to win every game, don't they?
Yeah, every game, yeah.
I think they beat Derby's record. That was the only bit they wanted to avoid.
Are they away with it, or is it at home?
It's at Molineux.
To Villa.
Oh, they're at home. Oh, okay, yeah.
So the question is, like, what against Fulham on Sunday? Okay, what do you do? Because do you realistically think he can put out Byfield and Lucas Barnett and all those players?
I'm not saying play them all. I'm just saying.
But where do you put them?
Some positions.
Do you really put them in the team? For my theory is, and it's always like this. Do you really put the youth team players in a team that is struggling already to kill their career?
I think at some point you've got to do it.
Why I say that is. Why I'm saying that is because when you look at most players that come through the system and come through the academy and end up being really good players, they don't come from a struggle. They don't put them in a struggling team. They put them in a functioning team that's working already. Like Messi didn't go into a Barcelona team that was completely down on the floor so he could come in and be the best. No, you put him in with the best players so he can learn off them and then move forward. Okay, like everyone was talking about Lewis Skelly like last season, but Lewis Skelly ain't even getting a look in now.
Yeah, it's different in that respect. But yeah.
But also when I look at Lewis Skelly, right, you can see when you look at Lewis Skelly, you can see he's got the body of someone who can play in the league, right? When even when you look at teams who brought in youngsters when they were in trouble and then the youngsters flourished, like Rashford as an example, right? But if you look at Rashford when he came in, you can see that this guy has got the physique to play in that league. When you look at our youngsters, genuinely were you guys there on Sunday, the warm-up, I saw
a lot of people said this.
I was thinking, who the hell are these kids? Like who's I genuinely thought, whose kids?
But
I've won the raffle to be training with the players, and then I found out they were part of our youngsters.
But this is the question that comes up to why, and this all goes back to Frank. When you've got a bench and you're talking about the kids, what do you really expect a manager at any level to be doing with the bare 11 that we've got? And you look at it, Spencer's playing left back and has been playing left back for the majority. Archie Gray's playing at right back. Romero's in and out, and he's been there though. Okay, but now he's suspended, so you're again hiding to nothing. Van der Ven has switched off since his interview with Gary Neville.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
But the killer to all of this, and just to throw it to everybody, is he brings back Basuma. Basuma was out And if you're a manager and you're having to, because that's the players you're left with, and you've literally had to bring in a player like Basuma, and now even okay, he's got no previous with Tudor, but Tudor's now got to be playing Basuma as well. A lot of us want this guy at the club.
We're desperate. We're desperate. That's why we're brought him back.
So is it down to the manager? Like, what do we really expect Tudor to get out of these players?
I'm not expecting much personally. So it's like, but the problem is he has to get something out of these players. Otherwise, we're going to be playing probably in a different league next season. If I'm being honest, like if he doesn't get anything out of them,
I have more confidence. Yeah, I have a bit more confidence.
He has to get something out of them. Like we need to go get something at the Craven Cottage. Like he has to get something, but I don't know how he's going to get it out of them. To me, it's not just the makeup of the 11 we've got left, is also the mentality of the players we have left. It's just
our fixtures are Fulham, Palace, Liverpool, then Forest. We've got Atletico Madrid somewhere between that. I don't know when that's going to be, but we've got them between them. We've got them in between that. So, Manny, where do we go from here? Because if
that's the point. I actually have a bit more confidence than Has. I think it's quite apparent. I genuinely think that a lot of our fan base has looked at that Arsenal game and they've judged our season based on that Arsenal game, and everyone has panicked. I think if we were judging managers based on Arsenal games, then Frank should have gone after that Arsenal game, because we did exactly the same thing with a bit more players in
he should have gone after that Arsenal game, because it was soon after Chelsea, wasn't it?
Exactly. I think that was the game where we got that 0.00000000001 XG or whatever it was, right? I genuinely think that game was that game. We have to erase it out of our minds, as bad as, and as hard as it is. And I actually genuinely think that what we should be really focusing on is this Fulham game. I think in terms of the players, I was watching the video that they put out of the training sessions.
Oh, you watched it? I didn't bother.
Me and Tottenham are in that relationship where I don't want to know what you're doing. Just fix it.
Yeah, I watched it because I'm that guy that sits there. So I watched Tudor's presser, and then I was like, and then obviously the video of the training popped up. I was like, oh, let me see whether Tudor's words are exactly what's happening during training. And I genuinely think that, because he said multiple times, they asked him, how do you get out of this situation? He said, work hard at training. And he is working them hard. And I genuinely think that he has a vision. He knows exactly what he wants to do, and he is going to get out of the players. I genuinely think that he is going to get these players to aggressively press teams into making mistakes, and that's how we're going to win games. Genuinely, like we've now got watch I sit back here next Thursday and be like, right, so Manny, how could you dissect the Fulham game? But listen, I'm telling you, right, we've got Porro back. Porro looked in good spirit. We've got Danso back, who can now slot in into that defense, right? So we don't have to play Paulinho in defense. And there's that knock-on effect. Sometimes people don't realize these things. I used to say these things even under Ange. When you're forced, and I have sympathy for Frank in certain occasions, when you're forced to play someone like Archie Gray at wing back against the best team in the league, I'm sorry, but you can't. What is a manager supposed to do with that respect? Whilst now we've got Porro come back after, and bearing in mind, Porro was atrocious before he got injured. He needed that rest. He had been overplayed. He's got that rest, and he is coming back, right? I genuinely do think we can get something out of Fulham at Craven Cottage, and we are going to get the win against Palace, because we are in a precarious position. There is no ifs, buts, or maybes anymore. There are no excuses anymore. And I genuinely do think that Tudor's going to get out of there. If he doesn't, that's it. It's a wrap. It doesn't matter. There's no one else.
Manny, I'm with you. Yeah, like I think Tudor is going to work them hard, but it's really for me, it's just down to the players now. Like they just have to perform,
Agree.
or they find some internal motivation or some like something. They find something to give a bit more to get us through this. Because I don't doubt Tudor's a good manager actually. In fact, like I said, I would have had him earlier in the season because I think he would have been able to work with them more, and I would be at this point more confident that I might even be out of it at this point if he was here from December. But because it's the lateness of his appointment, and just the mentality of the players, I worry because obviously I saw this under Ange as well last season where we lost 22 games. I've seen this over the years, like before with some of them, because obviously Kane and Son, I think, papered over a lot of cracks. Like when the chips are down, can these players show us that they can pull themselves out of it? And, I look at someone like Xavi, he's quite new. I know he's meant to be creative, but I have a lot of doubts about his ability in the Premier League. Like, I don't think he's strong enough to really play in the Premier League. And me and TJ of this belief that when you're playing well, Xavi can be like brilliant, but when you're kind of like where we are, is Xavi really the guy to pull us out of it? I mean, I hope I'm wrong, and maybe he's going to be the guy to do it. But like,
I agree with you, Haz.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
And then he's our creative spark, man. And like I said, I'm all for playing the 3-5-2 or whatever. Like, and hopefully it works. And I'm sure he'll get more out of Marnie. Like he already got more out of Marnie, but it's just down to the players' mentality. They need to show us that they can get themselves out of this. Like, yeah. Like I said, I'm with you with Tudor. I actually think what he said.
I agree with you. Especially on Xavi as well. I agree with you on Xavi. I genuinely, I was one of the biggest critics of what's his name? Our player who's injured, our number 10. I forgot his name now.
Madison.
Madison. I was one of the biggest Madison critics because I always said the guy is a genius on the ball, but when he gets lost and missing in a game, he is missing. And it happened too many times. Xavi genuinely makes me feel like I need Madison back ASAP. Right? So and it could be a Lookman. Right, it's gonna take him time. He's gonna, he has to grow into it and that's completely fine. But at the same time, sometimes I'm a bit worried that he is just a what do they call them? Those franchise players that are bought just for the name and the eyes that that they bring in. When he's on his game, he is on it, right? But I don't disagree with you. I do think it's definitely the mentality. Maybe these players should envision themselves playing at Millwall. Maybe that should be a bit more of a motivation to stay up, right?
Because they might be coming up,
and they might be coming up as well. Yeah, I know, exactly, right? Like, mate, how about you do your job? How about you do what you're paid to do, which is stay up? We're not even asking you to be top 10. Right, we are in the doldrums. Stay up. We're paying you over 100 grand a week for majority of these players. How about you do your job, right? Get me into that what's it called, the dressing room against Fulham, so that I can tell these players that a few things or two that I've got on my mind. Like, how about you do your job? Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Jamie O'Hara, but he was on TalkSport talking about you watch that clip and you watch it, and he's right. These players are not running. In the training video, he made them do laps, right? And it started making me feel like these players are gonna get even more injuries, right? But it's like they are skirting responsibility. And that's why I agree with you, Haz, whereby it's like these players are not used to be down there. They are not used to it. And it shows. For
me, Manny, this is why I give Paulino the captaincy to the end of the season. Because he's the only one I've seen.
He's the only one.
Yeah. And I hate to say it, but he's a lone player. This is what I don't understand. He's a lone player.
Sorry, guys, getting my charger. I'll be right back.
No worries. But yeah, just looking at it, like, because we've obviously got, this is probably the month that we have to pick up the most points now. We have to pick up points. Like you said, so you obviously don't see us picking up points against Fulham. Yeah.
No, I didn't say that. I just said it's unlikely because of
okay.
record.
No. Okay, so what do you? So looking at the next fixtures, and we're not including Atletico in there. We're going to include Atletico actually. Fulham. What do you see us getting out of Fulham?
I have to stick with what you're saying a week. I had to say this. We're going to lose 3-1. I think.
Okay, Crystal Palace on the Thursday.
I think we could win that. I think it's that game. We could win that game 1-0 maybe.
Liverpool away.
Just forget that game. We never get anything at Anfield.
Do you know what?
Like, it'd be a miracle we get something at Anfield.
It wouldn't surprise me if we bloody got something this time.
You think
one time when we desperately need something.
Yeah.
We always get a point there when Liverpool were going for titles and they needed the points and they were literally second. I don't count last year where Ange gave them a loving and we'd given up on the season. But if you think of the seasons before, whenever we've needed something at Anfield or they've needed something, we've always got something. But whenever it's been like one of them nothing game, Liverpool
off game. Yeah.
So it'd be quite interesting to see how this one pans out. But yeah, you're right. Like Anfield, a record of Forest, because Forest is now becoming the biggest game of the season.
Forest, I don't know. I think we've got to see where we are when we get there. Like if Forest have picked up some wins or something, because I think they've got Brighton away this win tomorrow. I think it's Brighton away,
so, yeah.
Which I mean they could get something out because Brighton have been on and off this season. So if they get something there, it's like I'm looking at West Ham Liverpool and I'm thinking, please don't nightmare happen and they go win at bloody Anfield. Like that will literally kill me.
Yeah. It's either going to be us or them. One of us is going to it's going to be us or them. So it won't be two losses.
You're right. Forest is probably the biggest game of the season now because it's a 6-pointer. So if we were to win that game, maybe that means we build like a gap or some sort.
How many points?
If that was to go wrong, like I think we're screwed. The thing is, the first leg Atletico Madrid was on the 10th of March, which is before Liverpool. Obviously, we play Palace before the first leg, so
yeah.
And then the second leg is before Forest. So I don't know how he's going to juggle it because should we just throw the Champions League at this point? Because if we lose that way to Fulham, then it's like for me, it's
interesting because obviously we'll talk about our path in a second. So you've just mentioned Champions League, but Manny, I was just asking Paz, Fulham prediction.
Head is saying 1-1, heart is saying 2-1 win.
Palace
win.
Liverpool away,
loss.
And Forest at home,
loss.
Okay.
Oh,
for a lot. Whoa. Okay.
We're not winning that game.
I didn't say that.
I'm telling you, genuinely, we're not winning that game,
bro. I say if we get those first two results that you just said, we're not losing to Forest.
You reckon?
Yeah, we're not losing to Forest. If we get two positive results out of the next two games, we're not losing to Forest.
If we beat Palace Cottage, I think you're probably right. I think you're probably right, Marlon, because we'll have some sort of momentum, hopefully.
Yeah, but I know we've been good away, but it's the two. Yeah. I know but if we get something against Palace because it's at home, it breaks that cycle of losing.
That might be fair.
If you said lost to Fulham, lost to Palace, then I'd go, yeah, we're losing to Forest.
Let me rationalize it, right? So I genuinely think that Palace at the moment they're in trouble, right? They've got issues left, right, center, like both off the field, on the field.
I come out and say he's concentrating on the Conference League anyway.
Well, listen, but no. I know you said it in jest, but I think that's what he's doing because I genuinely think Glasnow's won the FA Cup for them last season. He is out at the end of this season, and he's like, I'm going to leave with a bang, and I'm going to leave by winning the Conference League and putting two up to the ownership, right? So I genuinely do think that they're focusing on that, and I think that's the reason why we are going to beat them. I think that Fulham, when I say my heart says 2-1, it's purely, when I say my heart says 2-1, it's purely on the fact that I know that Tudor's looking at that after the loss against Arsenal thinking, we need to win this, right? But knowing the way Fulham are and how good they are and how aggressive they are, Craven Cottage, and how small that pitch is, I think that our best result is going to be 1-1. But with regards to Forest, I look at Forest, right? And I'm actually, the more I think about it, the more I'm surprised that they are in the position that they're in, looking at the players that they have and the signings that they brought in the summer. I just feel like they've got so much quality all over the pitch.
I think we know why
they are where they are.
We know why they are. We know why they're in that position. Mandy, let's be honest. They said Nuno and went for completely the opposite. We know full well the man.
Yeah, of course. But even when they brought in Sean Dyche, right? I genuinely thought that he was going to turn things around.
Too little, too late. You can't be on your fourth manager of the season and expect.
Yeah, it is a bit mad.
Yeah, but the question that was asked.
I mean, he sacked Nuno not really for footballing reasons, did he?
No,
it was more because he fell out with Edu. But Marinakis is a crazy man. He does it at Olympiacos as well, which just sacks managers anyway.
Yeah. But the question, Manny, that Hazard asked, and I wanted to get your opinion before we close up, was if Atletico's game is just before that Nottingham Forest game, and we're in a dire situation, would you still try and we've still got a chance to win the second leg? Do you throw the Champions League to stay in the Premier League, or do you carry on as normal?
What is your definition of dire situation, out of curiosity?
So West Ham are 3 points behind us.
Nah, forget about the Champions League, mate. Forget it. Genuinely, I was watching Expression today on We Are Tottenham TV, right? And he got asked, would you take win the Champions League if it meant we got relegated to the Championship? He was like, no. And I concur for the very first time with regards to...
Do you know what? I don't concur. I am going to be sitting there and be controversial on this. If we won the Champions League and got relegated, I probably will take it. And I'll tell you why.
Yeah, go on.
Because, and this also, there's a caveat to this as well. Arsenal have to win nothing. At the same time, right?
But then can't you say, I'm against this, by the way. But say we go down your road. Say Arsenal don't win. Oh, because we win the Champions League. Arsenal don't win the Champions League. Isn't it a bigger thing than winning the Premier League?
It's a massive thing.
Yeah.
And the fact is, I know we get relegated. I get it. Yeah, we ain't gonna come back for years. But the fact we won that competition before them, they could go and win. Yeah, they could go win the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, and the league. Yeah, in the next few weeks. But if they lost the Champions League, they will be fuming. And the fact we still got relegated, they'll be absolutely fuming. And
I hear what you're saying, but I will remind you. I will remind you of how we as fans, like the whole footballing world, would not even, including our fan base, would not even let us celebrate the Europa League because we finished 17th. I tell you now, if we get relegated and win the Champions League, nobody is going to care.
I was celebrating that Europa League. That North London derby away game this year. I still celebrate. I didn't care because I joke and jest. I'd rather stay in the Premier League. Yeah. However, if it came down to that, if you're actually physically giving me that situation, I do want the Champions League because for me, I've seen us try and get it and win nothing. But then I saw us win something last year, and I enjoyed it. I'm not saying, and I'm one of them. I think if we go to the Championship, especially with this board, because it's going to be this board, we're not coming back up for a while.
Exactly.
Because
5, 6, 7 years, I don't know.
But it depends, innit? Because I sit there and say that, but Van der Ven and Romero are definitely gone. But there's certain players we will be able to keep and would have to say to them, give us a year. Like Solanke should be able to give us a year. Madison's coming back from an injury. Kulusevski has no choice. He has to stay with us, no matter what he wants.
Yeah, no one's going to take him. That's a fair point.
So Bentancur will probably leave. Like when you start looking at it, we'd probably still have a half decent team in the Championship, and we can pay for it. And we'll probably have to go over the limits to do it. but it's a year.
But that's the problem, though, isn't it? Is the
Cardio
fact that
stays.
we from what I was reading, we've got a whole host of sponsorship deals that are coming to an end this big up that are coming to an end this season, which means that, you know, just because we currently have a revenue flow of 600 million.
But take this.
That's not going to be the case in the championship.
But you say that. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just put things in perspective. Okay. We're not going to be making Premier League millions. However, we're going to be the biggest club in the championship. Yeah. True. Correct. We'll have Sky. Every game will be on. Okay. The biggest upset team that everyone will want to try and beat for that first season will be Tottenham Hotspur. Okay. Because we came down. The owners, okay, this is where it becomes they will have to invest in the club to make it so, because at the moment what we're worth £2.5 billion, okay, I'm just throwing that out there. Okay, we're worth that. If they want to make that money back, they can't have us in the championship.
No, they can't.
So they're gonna have to fork out, they're gonna have to physically put some money in to get to warrant that, because you think about it, if they have to spend 200 million to get 2.5 million back,
100%. Obviously, I don't know how. 100%. I agree with that. I fully agree with that.
So the sponsorship, so I get what people are saying, but we're not going to be in the, and the concerts is still going to happen. The NFL is still going to happen. Okay, admittedly, the stadium attendance possibly will be down.
Yeah, I know quite a few people that are not looking to go to the championship game.
So I get it, but this is where you need. This is where the investment in the ownership have to look.
Yeah, 100%.
We for this first year to get us out of the championship, we have. But I'm not saying that we'll come straight, because we'd have to get a decent manager, and I'm still relying on the same people to pick this. Okay?
Well, I tell you what, man, the fact that we bought the fact that they saw the number of people, you know what I mean? Exactly, Brian. Imagine my brother is trying to tell me that we should go to the championship because we're going to be the best team. Marlon is the guy who's going to be singing "Champions of England." Who knew everything that?
Win the playoff final. Yeah.
I tell you what's worse though. This is what's worse about the whole situation. I was saying this the other week. This is only if we win the Champions League, by the way. Remember, this is only if we win the Champions League. Imagine trying to convince a player that, okay, apologies, yeah, you're going to be playing in Barcelona 1 week, and then you're going to be playing in London the week after, a couple of days later, yeah, but you still get to be on the big stage, but you're just not playing in the Premier League.
Has that ever happened, Marlon? Has a team ever gone down and played in like the Champions League, say like League Two, League?
No, a team has gone down and played Europe.
Not in Europe, but in the Champions League specifically.
Not in the Champions League, but I think it's happened in the UEFA Cup or Europa.
Yeah,
it's happened.
Was it Middlesbrough or something?
No, Wigan won
the
FA Cup.
Right. Yeah, Wigan played
with
in
the FA Cup and they went down.
Yeah, you're right.
So, but it's happened to other sides in Europe. But I tell you what's really worrying about the situation. I don't know if anyone's seen the video from Schalke and how they went down.
Yeah,
just come back up. It's very similar to how Spurs is being run.
Oh, great.
Yeah. The only thing that, and this is where I make Manny right about the sponsorship and stuff. That's the bit that they financially they were really, really poorly run. And that's the only bit that they don't have similar with Spurs. But the buying players and the recruitment is exactly the same. The injuries that they ended up getting. And it took them 2 years to come back up, which is really interesting.
But Marlon, assuming we come back up, do you think we're going to stay up? Because just because we came back up doesn't mean we're suddenly going to be in like a top 10.
To be honest, if we go down, like I said, I don't know when we're going to come back up. So this is only if we win the Champions League, by the way.
46 games where every single team in that league is going to view us as their cup final. I'm telling you, if you think, playing on Hackney Marshes level pitches, right? I'm telling you, if we go down, unless what Marlon is saying, right, happens, which is the ownership gets the biggest spook of their lives and they decide to put in their own money, Which, bearing in mind, look at this how bare the squad is, facing relegation, and these lot bought Conor Gallagher and Suso, right? This is the ownership we're talking about here. Unless they do that, I am telling you, if we go down, we are not coming back up. So we will just be showing that Champions League trophy to Plymouth, Argyle, and them lot. That is all we're going to be doing, because we're not going to be seeing Arsenal fans to be showing them that trophy.
No. I want it for Toads as well.
We'll never pay you again.
Toads will get kicked off the Big Six, probably. Yeah, Toads will probably get kicked off the Big Six if they get relegated. But he can sit there in front of Turkish and go, "Here's the Champions League trophy, bro." Remember what they tried to get me about, because they all won Champions League. I've got it too. What you got? Oh, you take the Invincible trophy.
Oh man!
Listen.
I don't think we're going down anyway.
That's saying we'll never play you again. We'll never play you again. Did you not hear them singing it in the derby? The Arsenal fans are saying we'll never play you again.
Listen, I'm telling you, man. I'm very positive. You're
positive. I'm worried. I'll openly admit I'm worried. And it's probably because
if we don't win at Fulham or get something at Fulham,
if we don't get something at Fulham on Sunday, I can't see. I think that giving up mentality, and the problem I've got is that some of these players have been relegated before.
Yep.
This.
Odobert.
You what? Sorry, what'd you say?
Some of these players have been relegated before. Maddison, Solanke, Odebert's been relegated twice, which I never realised. Yeah. Sousa doesn't really count. Spence hasn't been relegated.
Oh, he hasn't. Oh, okay.
He hasn't been relegated. The other player was, and now I've lost my memory. He was the other player.
I know he's talking about.
Someone else.
Talking about TJ.
No, Paulina's not.
The player's gone down.
Yeah.
Paulina? No, Paulina didn't go down.
I'll tell you in a second, because I found out a couple of weeks ago. Because I was really worried, and I wanted to know if they had the mentality to do it.
So I think for our team, you know. Run around Marrow.
Here we go. Spurs players relegated in history. I knew I had it.
You do your research, yeah?
Yeah, I did my research. Wilson Odobert was one because he was relegated with Burnley. Oh my god!
You said Solanke, didn't you?
Solanke was one. Maddison was another.
With Leicester in it, yeah.
With Leicester.
Odobert, of course. Who's the other guy? I know what you're talking about, because I was talking about Richarlison. No, did he go down Watford?
Oh yeah, he went down with Watford.
Did he go down with Watford?
I don't think he did.
No. I thought he did, and Everton bought him. Maybe not.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the other player.
But I agree with you though. If we
here we go. I can tell you now. Maddison.
Yep.
Leicester. Odobert, Troyes, and Burnley.
Mm-hmm.
Solanke with Bournemouth. Pape Maté Sarr with Metz.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yep. Conor Gallagher.
Oh, that's the one. Yes.
With who? West Brom.
West Brom.
Yeah, he's right.
Pedro Porro with Genoa.
Oh,
and Archie Gray with Leeds.
Oh yeah, Gray's kind of expected.
But Gray's expected. Gray and Sousa don't count because they were really young players. And probably Wilson Odobert. I
think Gray was like 16 or something when they went down, wasn't
he? Yeah, Gray was 16. He'd only played like one or two games.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are your players. I knew I had it because I'd really.
I think from my perspective at the moment, I'm quite calm. You know, up until Sunday, I keep saying Sunday will tell me a lot. Sunday will tell me a lot as to where we're going to be in the near future. If we do not get something from Sunday, there will be major alarm bells. But I have confidence in this team. I have confidence in Tudor. I have confidence in the quality of our squad. And we will do it. They are scared. They are worried. Did you see that video? We are in trouble, guys.
you know, I've never been. And the thing is, I'd always say, like, a lot. I know people are asking for Levy back and stuff, but this is his mess.
It's his mess.
He created this. He created this.
I am now gutted. I'm literally now gutted. He still ain't here to go through this because we could have said, "Look, here we go. This is what we told you years ago it would happen." But the problem is they sacked him too early, man.
Well, but Marlon, I could argue though that had Levy been here, Frank would have been gone after Chelsea, let alone Arsenal. And we probably maybe wouldn't have been in that situation.
He would have gone after Arsenal. Chelsea would have been the thing where they would have been talking about it. He would have gone after Arsenal. Because
exactly. It's not guaranteed. Like again, I keep saying last season.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Because last season, we were never really in such a situation where because the three teams that went down were so bad. That's the only reason why Ange managed to keep his job, because we were in a competition where he could have won it.
I'm just going to throw this out there. If Levy was still here and he was running the joint, Ange would have been in charge.
Oh yeah. After he came out and said, it's a board decision. I've never heard Levy sack a manager and say, "I'm sorry, it's not just my decision." And that's when I knew. I was like, nah, Levy didn't want to sack the guy.
Levy didn't want to sack it. So
then can you argue that Ange would have done? Because my fear was if Ange stayed, it would have been like a Ramos thing, where like next season he 2 points from 8 games. Ramos got.
No, well, it depends, because I think the issue that the biggest problem that we all had with Ange is that we all said he needed a DM. Yeah. Remember, we all said
he didn't want one.
He didn't want one. But I think they would have bought it. He would have learned. I think they would have bought in Paulinho and said, "You need him."
He wouldn't.
He already had play. Yeah, 100%.
Like he dropped Højbjerg for like ages and brought him on with like 10 minutes left.
Yeah, that used to work. Do you remember? It used to work, but
then he sold him,
and then he sold him. But that's what we never understood. When you look at that first season under Ange, the second, Ange had a squad in that first season, which he didn't need. And in the second season, they went and bought in his kids and Solanke, and you're like, but you need a squad this year. You're in the Europa League, but he won it anyway, so they will go, "We were right."
Spot on. And I actually think Marlon's point is spot on, right? But also, I think if Levy was here, he would have kept Ange, not because of his tactical genius, but purely because of morality, of the fact that he'd won the Europa League the year before, and he would have kept him on condition that he would have changed. And had he seen no change in, say, the first 2 months, Ange would have been gone anyway. 100%. That's exactly what would have happened.
Frank would have come in.
But then the problem come in. That's the problem. We should have seen us relegated. So maybe the way things have worked out, if Tudor keeps us up, maybe it's all right. Maybe we can just erase the entire 2 seasons and just look forward.
Problem is, like,
oh my life.
If we go down, I don't know how to come back up, because the problem I have with a lot of these players is that they have a weak mentality. Like, they just, like I said, I just don't know how they could pull themselves out of this rut or whatever we're in. Like, do you know what I mean? So if they don't do it now, are they going to do it in a year's time? Are they going to? Because, like, Manny said, every game's going to be a cup final for the championship teams. Plus, we're going to play.
So you're hoping
more physical teams, and our players are not that physical, man. They're really not.
Maybe they bring Poch back to get us back up.
Why would he want to come to us in the championship?
Because he's sitting there sucking us off in every interview that he could.
He loves us, man. I love the guy. I'm telling you. I don't think he's the right choice, but I absolutely love the guy.
Oh, I've never ever. Ange, to be fair to Ange, he used to defend Tottenham. Like,
yeah.
He used to defend, no matter what he did, he defended Spurs.
Yeah.
Okay. So to hear him on the overlap was a bit like, well, you're just doing this because you are a crap manager.
He just wants the job, Marlon. He just wants the job. We're in the Premier League. That's all that was.
Yeah, Poch left under a cloud. You got to remember, he left because of the Amazon documentary. Let's all be serious now, okay? Because Levy was trying to look at me, who am I, and try to be the main man on that documentary. And that's why he brought in Jose.
Yeah.
But
Do you remember how he shook the lawyer's hands after they signed Jose?
yeah,
Great job done here, guys.
yeah.
We've kept it under wraps.
Mm.
Oh, what a comedian
But
that
yeah,
guy
but
was.
Poch wants to come home. He saw that, you know, when we that Ange, the 9 men and all that. You got to remember that was Poch's first time back to the lane. He saw that and went, I want to be back here.
The what? Sorry, the what?
You know, when Ange had when Ange's season derailed after the 9 men against Chelsea. That was Poch's Poch's only game back as manager.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
right. You're right.
That was his first one back, and he's always wanted us since then. He saw the atmosphere that day and went, "Yeah, I want some of this." But yeah, Poch for me will probably come back.
Flipping singing Ange's name or flipping losing, and they clapped the players off when we lost flipping 4-1. I'm like, you guys are tapped. We were losing 5-3 to Liverpool and sing Ange's name. I'm like, you guys are not well. Like, I'm sorry.
But you have to remember that.
What is going on in our fan base?
I did make Ange right though in that interview when he said about that Chelsea game. It's all about make decisions at the time. But you got to remember, Dyer scored that goal and he was an inch offside. Okay, admittedly. And then you have to remember, I can't remember if it was Benson called somewhere.
Son missed a chance. I know Son missed a chance.
Son missed a chance, and it was Benson Call's header or something that was inches of going in, and it could have been 2-2. That game should have technically finished 2-2.
And to be fair, on the overlap, Ange said the players took his taxes a bit too literally.
Yeah,
that's what he said. He said push up, but he didn't say go and stand on the halfway line.
Oh yeah, game did it. Yeah, and then he said. That picture that he said on that day, that halfway line, he did not tell him to do that. He literally said there was a way we wanted to play, but not that was Eric Dyer. When I think about it now, it was Eric Dyer organising all that.
Eric Dyer as well.
But also though, but again, when we're talking about managers, he said on the overlap, that's when he realized the belief that the players had in what he was telling them, right?
Game, yeah.
And I think that's where when you know exactly, and that's where I never saw that with Frank, unfortunately. But I think our next manager, we stay up, our next manager has to be someone that everyone can buy into. I don't care.
We already know who the guy is. I already know who the guy is.
Well, they've said
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I don't know, because obviously I don't know, you know.
Alan Brazil said they haven't spoken to Poch. They haven't spoken to Poch. He said that last time and they haven't spoken to him.
Well, I think
I think if we get relegated, I think they've got no choice but to bring Poch back.
Well, I heard
what if we don't get relegated then?
Us over United. De Zerbi wants us over United, apparently told Sky Sports.
I don't want that guy anywhere near this club.
I'm just telling you what I'm not saying I want him. I'm just telling you.
If he doesn't come back,
options, man. We've got De Zerbi, you've got Poch. You've got options.
To be fair, there's an option that I've always said if Levy could have got it over the line, because it was one who Levy wanted, I think would be perfect for this club, and that's Nagelsmann.
Yeah,
in the Championship.
He's also
no. If we're going to do this, if we don't get relegated, if we get relegated, yeah.
He's also out of work, by the way. He's out of work this summer.
Yeah, because Germany, it's after the World Cup.
After the World Cup,
because he shouldn't have been at Germany in the first place.
It was a weird appointment. I mean, it was a weird appointment
because he needed a job. No one else in Germany was going to deploy him because of the whole Bayern Munich situation.
Yeah,
the only thing he could go to was because his girlfriend at the time, or his ex. She worked for the newspaper who he was selling Bayern Munich stories.
Oh, was that right? Oh.
Yeah, over bedroom talk, wasn't it?
But man like Paratici went to Fiorentina because of his bird as well, didn't he?
Nah, that was what they just.
No, that was a lie, mate. I'm telling you now. That guy came in. You saw him on that couch. You saw him on that couch. You could see that even the word co-director of football, he was sealing trying to say that on that couch. The first job he got, the first person that called him and said, mate, do you want to come back to Italy? He was like, F this, I'm gone. That's what happened.
Like, don't get me wrong, Florence is nice, but we've got Italian places here that she would have been at home. She's in London. Bro, she don't care.
We had a few conversations with Lange and Frank and thought, nah, I ain't staying for this.
You wanted Frank gone like from December.
Yeah, he wanted Frank gone.
Those are the words.
But only reason, like going back to earlier in the conversation we had about Lange, the only reason I partly wanted Gomez is because he's so associated with Frank, and I think if you need to get rid of Frank, you should get rid of both of them. Like in my opinion, just because if we want to bring say
I
agree with it.
Poch to bring in his own guy, or like deserving to bring his own guy. Does that make sense? Not because I see your point, Marlon, because you pointed out the certain transfers, right? But yeah, I just think because of his association with Frank, I would have got rid of him. But that's just
Paul Mitchell and Thing need to work together again.
Big up Nigel, right, man.
Yeah, they need to work together again. But on that note, we'll leave it there because we'll come back in a month and discuss it all over again.
I can't wait.
Thank you for joining us tonight and taking Luke's place.
That's okay.
Where they can find you.
Please subscribe to Hasper TV. I did a stream earlier today. Please go back and watch it where we'll talk about relegation for another like hour and a half if you want to rewatch it. And also, hopefully, I'll have a happy match reaction on Sunday evening or Monday morning, whenever it comes out. But we'll see, I guess. And come on, you Spurs.
Manny, for the people who are tuning on Spurs Kings TV and not Designated Hotspur.
Yeah, you'll find me on Designated Hotspur. Last video I put up was with Tobes of the Big Six. He gave his prediction till the end of the season. He thinks we're staying up. I think we're staying up. But yeah, please, if you haven't subscribe. I've hit my first 1K yesterday, so
well done, man.
Hopefully we keep going up, man.
That's tough. I tell you this, that's always the toughest one,
mate. It was a slog.
Yeah. It's a tough one, especially when you're on 900 for so long. And it's so funny because you and Ash, I'm going to point at Ash, we both got 1,000 because of Saba.
Yeah, literally. I was literally speaking to someone. I was like, I basically went from 0 to 800 in 4 weeks. And then I stood on 800 for 6 weeks. And I kept waiting and waiting. I was like, I literally spoke to someone. I was like, I've been waiting for ages. He was like, you know what, just come on my show. 2 shows. I got 200 subscribers. I was like, wow, mate. Thank you very much. So yeah, definitely big up Saba.
2 years ago, we were on 900 for so long. And Ash went on Saba's and got us over it. And then it's been slightly easier since we got to the 4,000. I think it's 4,000. That's been a bit of a slog between 4,000 and 5,000. That's been a bit harder to make. But that's thanks to all these people, the wonderful people that are watching us, to be fair. If it weren't for them, we wouldn't be able to do what we're going to do. Look, we'll have what's his name back next month. Luke should be on here as well. Yeah, Spotlight on Spurs. We're going to do this monthly.
He's everywhere, man. I see him on literally almost every stream I watched.
He's everywhere.
Yeah.
So we're going to do this monthly, the N17 monthly now. This is our new show, Manny, and we will bring on a panelist as well to help us go through it. Please let us know in the comments and subscriptions whether you think how many points we're going to get, and also who do you think will get relegated. Those are the 2 talking points from tonight's show, and we'll be back next month to digest what we said this month. But big up to everyone who's joined us in the chat. As always, you've been stars and brilliant, especially the ones that joined us from Manny's as well, because I can actually see it. I've never known this before, but I can actually see it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can't see it at all. That's weird.
Tom and Pure Coys, Nigel Pure Coys were the ones that I can see that have wrote. Boris as well. It's a big
it shows the little sign thing, doesn't it? I think.
Yeah, it shows us a little sign that they've come from yours. So thanks to Ashley, Brian Lamar, and Scott Hyman as well. Olu. Don't thank Olu, man. He's an Arsenal fan.
My favourite victims.
Man, he's getting us. But no, big up to everyone. Make sure you subscribe to Spurs Kings TV. Make sure you go to Manny. Make sure you go to Hasper. Manny's channel is in the description of Spurs Kings TV. So please make sure you click the subscribe button. Like I said, we'll be back next month. This will be a monthly show. Ash and I are back Monday. Anyone going to the Fulham game, please say hi to me on Sunday because I will be there.
Are you going?
As always, yeah, I'm going.
It's a good away day, man. I've been there.
Yeah, I've been there so many times. But it was only because my family are where I went. Yeah, you know what? I'll go.
Oh,
well, I can't go out any other time. But yeah, big up to everyone. And as always, hopefully, and